In the words of the great poet Axl Rose, many in St. Louis may think I'm on the night train and I can never get enough. Let's take a look at Gary the Night Train Jackson.
Since 1984, Gary Jackson has carved out his career in professional wrestling. As a young fan of wrestling at the Chase, Gary dreamed of entering this squared circle. Gary embodies the old school mentality, bringing a timeless spirit to the ring. Over the years, Gary has earned numerous championship titles. In his storied career, Gary is facing the biggest names in the WWF and WCW. Gary Jackson is not just a wrestler, he's a mentor and a leader. I play my 4 rules. Rule number 1 is I'm coming to win. Rule number 2 is I refuse to lose. Rule number 3 is I will defeat you. And rule number 4 is the most important rule of all. Don't forget my rules. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Cauliflower Cup Independent Wrestling Award recipient, NightTrain, Gary Jackson.
Here to present the award, not only an esteemed CAC dignitary, past award winner, but also legendary promoter in his own right, who has done so much to preserve the history of professional wrestling in the St. Louis and surrounding areas. Please welcome Mr. Herb Simmons.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, everybody. I know Fonzie said that, they only allow us 5 or 6 minutes, but I know Rich is probably sitting over there with a stopwatch on, so if you got any problems with me taking it longer, go see Haku and Telecom right there. They're sitting at my table. So there's some meat and potatoes to what I want to talk about here tonight. First of all, how many wrestling promoters are in here? Raise your hands. There you go. So a little story. A month ago, myself and an anonymous donor said, hey, let's do a raffle. And let's send somebody to the Cauliflower Outlet Club. So this was all thrown together in about less than a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And I'm happy to say that that person and his wife got their all-expense paid trip out of here, their first year membership of the CAC, and their hotel stay. Don, would you stand up? Mr. Don Castaldi. His wife he was here last night, but my point is, we all talk about, we want to grow this organization. We want to extend the membership. For all of you promoters out there, think outside of that box, because it works. Get yourself that sponsor, get yourself that anonymous donor, and then today, to put icing on the cake, we gave him and his wife a ticket to get a picture with Mr. Angle. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So, now that we got that out of the way, would everybody from SICW tables stand up, please? All of you. And this is also what happens when you support the Cauliflower Outlet. You bring these members out there. Troy Peterson, would you stand up? Troy Peterson from Impact Pro Wrestling is here with us, him and his family, and some of his locker room. We have Jason Jones from Mid-States Championship Wrestling with us. My point being is, you can make this organization bigger and better than what it is with each and every one of your help. And so I appreciate that. Now let's talk about the meat of tonight, Gary Jackson. You heard Joe mention the name NightTrain. He got that name from the late great Bruiser Brody. Has everybody heard of Bruiser Brody? If you haven't, Barbara, raise your hand. Barbara Goodish, Gail, raise your hand. Gail, Barbara Goodish, the widow of Bruiser Brody, Gail, and sister. If you haven't heard of Bruiser Brody, you're living under a rock. But if you want to know more about him, if they can't tell you, I'm sure I can fill in the holes that they don't know about, because he worked for me for many, many years, and we were more than promoter, worker of the business, and I miss him every day. But he gave Gary Jackson his nickname, the Night Train. What a lot of people don't know about Gary is he was in the military. We have some military people here. Raise your hands. Thank you for your service. Because what you did allowed us to do what we do tonight. Not only was he in the military, to this day, he is still in law enforcement. We have any first responders in here? Thank you for what you do. Gary is a deputy sheriff for the city of St. Louis, Missouri, works every day. But when he was in the military, he fell in love many years before that with professional wrestling, like all of us did. And he watched it. He wrestled in the military. After he retired from his active duty there, he joined the National Guard. Still in the National Guard, he wrestled. To this day, he wrestles all over. He's been on every territory you can think of, Northeast, West, South. He's been Memphis, all over. Started off in Kansas City, and a lot of you know what Kansas City, our position was like. The Bob Geigels, Harley races, that's where he got started at there. But during that whole time when he was, whether he was down working for the Jarretts or wherever he may be, he always considered St. Louis his home base at SICW. And there he is, easy, kind of a joke in all the locker rooms that he goes in. The man has not aged a bit. He looks the same now as he did when I first had him come to work for us back in about 1984. And he's still an old man. He still gets out there and wrestles every time I call him. And when his phone rings and he answers it, it's not hello, it's, yes, Mr. Promoter, what do you need? One of the most respectful men that I've ever met in my 51 years of career of promoting. Larry Matisek, for those of you who may remember that name, the Pro Show you Sam Muchnick. Love Gary Jackson. Sam Muchnick, love Gary Jackson. Some people call him the Night Train. In some areas they call him the Gorgeous One. But I can tell you, I'm so proud and honored to call him my friend. Now get your ass up here and get this award.
Hello, everybody. I'm ready to introduce myself. My name is Gary Jackson. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you so much, Herb, for bringing up the wrestling at the chase. I'm just like every other kid, watch the local TV, wrestling at the chase. I decided to go into the Army in 1980. In 1983, we was doing field maneuvers. It was so cold out there, I knew I had to make a change. So in 1983, I gave up my position as a sergeant and went back home to my mother's basement to start my life all over again. Now, when I started wrestling, there was no internet, there was no ads in the paper. I had to walk down the street and knock on doors and hope somebody would open it up for me. When I finally got my chance in 1984 in St. Louis, Missouri, I took full advantage of that opportunity. I trained every single day. I had no responsibilities. I wasn't married. I had no kids, and that was all by design. That way, I want to give myself every opportunity to make it in this business. So once that phone rang, or that knock on the door, but it answered, I just want to get it for more than one answer. I am ready to go. There's a lot of guys and girls that were better than me, but they was never, ever ready to go. So ladies and gentlemen, I got my big break in '86 in Kansas City, working for Bob Diamond, working for Harley Race, working for Bulldog Bob Brown, getting to know Marty Jannetty, getting to know Shawn Michaels, and getting to know Razor Ramon. You know, got some good experience. And the late great Brian Johnson was in that territory. Bobo Brazil used to come to St. Louis. I got to know about Tebow by wrestling magazines. I was a junkie for wrestling before the internet ever came out. After that point, I went down to Memphis, got some more good training from the Jarretts. You know, went to Dallas, Texas, hung out with the Binaries, got more good training there. When I say good training, that means I was working every night learning my craft. That is how you make it in this business. If you can't take hard criticism, get out right now. Because I was never ever promised a championship. I was never promised anything. I was just told if I got a spot, I will call you if I got a spot. And I said, that's a deal made. Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I'd like to thank the CAC for bringing me out here. I'd like to thank all the members who picked me for this award. I know they had many choices to do that, and they chose Gary Jackson. I'm not in this business to get these type of awards. I'm in this business to put smiles on faces when I get in that ring and out of that ring. So I'm going to sum this up by telling the people my rules. Don't understand that. Rule number 1 is I come to win, Daddy. Rule number 2 is I refuse to lose. Rule number 3 is I will do my best to beat you. And rule number 4 is the most important rule of them all.